So no more joke, guys. Now let's go to what we really want to do, okay? So the first thing that we need to do here is we need to create a new package. Let's call it by messaging. So having here the package messaging, so let's create here a sub package. Let's call it by event, and let's go to the microservice. For me, I'm just going to this microservice here, which is the customer microservice, and I will copy this events, okay? So I'm just going to paste it here. Event, okay? So in event, we have here this record, okay, which is a customer DTO. We have first name, last name, birth date, email address, and social security number. And here we have the events, right? That, let me say, that the customer is publishing. Of course, we don't need all events, right? We just need one event. We just consuming this one, right? So now that we have here the event, okay, that we are consuming, so you should understand that we are using Java 17 and its sealed interface. So we have here the event, and take a look here, read a little bit. Now we need to create our event handler, okay? Let's call it by messaging handler, because event handler is very tied to events, because in messaging we have commands and we have events, right? Let's call it by, for example, customer message handler, okay? Because we are going to handle the messages published by the customer, okay? So the first thing that we need to do is we need to create, we need to use, so if you remember, guys, the first video we were using the supplier, right? So the supplier is the source, right? And so on. But now we are going to use the consumer, okay? It's pure Java functional interfaces, right? So we are going to use the consumer in order to consume our event. So in that order, let's just use the consumer, okay? As we can see, it's Java util function consumer, okay? And what we are going to consume? We are going to consume the customer event, okay? Which type? The customer created, okay? So in that order, let's just create it. Handle customer created, right? We are handling this event. And yeah, the next thing that we need to do here for now, let's just, for example, use it like this. And I think let's just log it, okay? I'm using the lombok, okay, Self4j. And yeah, for now, let me just, for example, create here. It will be a component, okay? So what we are going to do here, we are going just to log, okay? For now, let's just log here in order to show you guys that we are consuming the event. Consuming the event, okay? And then we are going to log the event. So like this. Yes, the next thing that we need is to annotate it as a bean. So we are now consuming. This is very simple using Spring Cloud Stream. So the next thing that we need to do here, let's just check here, for example. So let's go to the customer microservice, okay, as we have here already. So let me just, for example, here, paste it here, the data source, okay. Okay, we don't have the MySQL, so let me just add here the dependency of MySQL. Now in the decision microservice, we need the dependency of MySQL. Let's just go here, down. Let's put the dependency here. Let's reload. All right. And now let's go back here. Okay, it's already. Let's just use here the decision, because in microservice we have the every single service should have its own database. So now having it like this, the next thing that we need to do, for now, let me just change here, okay, the server port. Now the only thing, okay, in order to consume our event using Spring Cloud Stream, the only thing that we need to do is creating this component, okay, using here the consumer. And now, as we did before in the previous video, we just need one configuration here. For example, Spring Cloud function definition, okay? We said the name of our function, which is handle customer created, okay, here. And now we are going to tell, okay, Spring, for this function, okay, for this function, it should be bindings, okay, for this function here, I am consuming, it's in, if you remember guys, in the producer, let's go back here, as we were producing events, we said out, okay, because we are sending event, outputting event, okay. But now for this decision microservice, as we are consuming, we say in, okay. So we are consuming, and now we say the destination, which topic we are consuming the event. If you remember, in the producer side, we are sending the events into this topic, okay, into this topic, customer topic. So in the consumer, we are going to consume from this exact the same topic, right? The customer topic. Now let's, for example, first thing first, let me just run the Docker. So let's create the database. Yes, okay, the database has been created. So now let's run our application, the decision microservice. Okay, in the next one, we need to run our customer application. The customer is running on the other port, okay, it should be different ports because I'm running in the same machine. So guys, the next thing that we need to do, we need to publish an event. Let's test. Okay, we have created here, we have published an event. Now let's check this is the customer microservice, okay. Now let's check first thing first, the AKHQ. AKHQ is the client that we are using in order to visualize what's happening in our Kafka environment, okay, in our Kafka broker, or in this case, cluster. Okay, we don't have any event here, okay. Now let's once again create here the same, okay, Barack Obama, okay, the ID is 2, as we can see. Now let's go here, let's refresh. As we can see, okay, we have the event, okay, ID 2, Barack Obama, okay, date birth, and so on. Now let's check what's happening in our microservice consumer. The microservice consumer is the decision consumer, okay. Okay, we have here some exception. The microservice is trying to consume the event, but we have here some problem. Okay, I know. This is because we don't have here any, for example, messaging serializer and deserializer, okay? So in that order, I'm just going to add, for example, here, the Jackson dependency, okay? Not the Jackson dependency, but we can use the Spring Boot JSON, okay, dependency. So in that order, let's just go here. Let's add here. Let's reload. Okay, now let's reload our application. Now I'm just going to put it here in this side, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna put it here, and now let's publish another event. Let's say, for example, Samuel Jackson. Okay, let's just create here a random date. Okay, now let's publish the event. And now let's see if the consumer microservice will consume. Okay, as we can see, consuming here in this side, okay, we have here consuming event, okay, Samuel Jackson, okay. If we put here, for example, a new one, because we are publishing in the customer microservice, the customer microservice is publishing the event, and the decision microservice is consuming the event, okay. And as we can see here, for example, yeah, we just consumed the event. For example, if we put here, let's say Franz, okay, Franz Kafka, okay, the name, okay, and let's, for example, I know that he wasn't born in 2000, let's suppose like 2001, okay, August 11. Kafka is greater, is great, yeah. So let's just put it 222, 222, 222, okay. So we created, okay, the event. Let's go here in our console, okay. As we can see, now we have here the new event, right? So guys, this is what I wanted to show you guys, okay. And in order to consume the event, it's very simple, okay. We can create more events, and we can also, for example, go here in our AKHQ, okay, in our AKHQ topics. It should be here in the topics, and we can see all the events, okay, that we have publishing, Samuel Jackson, Franz Kafka, and also Dr. Dre, okay. All the events were published, okay. And maybe the next thing that I want to show you guys, in order to see that our application is actually consuming the event, is it's a little bit slow, but for now, let me just, for example, let's just finish here our example. So this is nice. Now what we need to do is to create here a new package. Let's call it by service, okay. And here we are going to have, for example, decision maker service. Nope, it should be an interface, okay. And for this decision making service, we will just have the same method here, the method decide, which receives an integer, okay, integer, which will be a social security number, and the local date, which will be the birth date. And as always, we need a service implementation, right? So let's just create here. Let's annotate it with the correct Spring stereotype, and yes, that's good. The next thing that we need to do, for example, for this, is to implement the decision, right? We need to implement the methods. So in order to implement the method, we just need to call the decision. So here we create this, we need to, it receives an SSN, okay? So let's just social security number and the birth date. So this is the decision, right? And just in order to complement, because people will say, oh, now consume an event and save it into database. So now we are going to use here the repository, okay? We are going to create a repository. Nope, it should be an interface, okay? And it should extend interface and interface. They extend the JPA repository, okay? We are trying to persist the decision, and the ID type is a long, okay? And we need also to decorate it with, annotate it with the correct Spring stereotype. And here, okay, I'm just going to use here the Lombok requires args constructor in order to inject our repository, okay? So private final decision repository, okay, like this. And after creating after having here the decision, we are going to use the decision repository in order to save, okay, our decision. So let's just call it here, decision. Okay, and yes, for now let's just use the Lombok in order to log, okay, Salesforce, and let's log and yeah, get the decision, okay, just like this. So in that order, it's very easy. Okay, what you need to do is just go here in your messaging, okay, here. Now we need to add also the requires are here. We require add constructor, okay, and because we are going to inject here the service private final decision service, okay, decision service will be like this. And here, instead of having this like this, we can just go decision at the side. So we need to get here, right, in this event, customer created. Let's get the customer. Okay, we get the customer, and now let's get the customer social security number and customer birth date. So now if we restart the application, yes, if we restart the application and make here, for example, Jose Mourinho, the special one, okay, and let's give him 444 444 444. So now let's create. Ooh, okay, we got some exception here while trying to save the event table decision, that sequence that doesn't exist. Yeah guys, I just think that we need to as we didn't create the table, okay, we created the database but we didn't create the table. So let's just add here the Hibernate data definition language, okay, in order to create automatically. So yes, now let's create the event, okay, let's create the customer. Okay, so the decision is, we needed to string method here. Let's just add here to string. Let's restart the application. And now let's run. Okay, nice, approved. Why approved? Because this customer, okay, this customer has a social security number which is even, okay, this one here, even. So now let's test, for example, here, let's say, let's give him, for example, an odd social security number. Okay, now as we can see, okay, pre-approved for Elon Musk, okay. And of course, we need to make here some other, for example, stuffs like these. For example, these also need the toString method, right? That's why we are seeing here the hash one. And yes, guys, this is what we are trying to achieve here, right? So now we publish the event, okay? It's pre-approved because it has a social security number which is even. If we put is odd, right? If we put here an even, for example, 888 888 888, okay. Now let's just put here some other name, for example, Bayon Sensei, right? Now it's approved. We are consuming event, okay. And now let's just test the one that, for example, if customer is more than 70 years old, okay, in the end of the credit. So we can see here, reject, okay? So we are publishing the event, okay, in the customer microservice and consuming here in this decision microservice. So in order to consume an event, so my bad here, because all packages were created here inside of domain, my mistake here, okay, it should be like this. So in order to consume an event using Spring Cloud Stream, we just have to add here the Spring Cloud. We created our project, we add the dependency of Spring Cloud Stream Kafka, okay? Then we create a message handler, okay? In our case, it's a consumer. So we just annotate our method with @bin, okay? And it's a consumer, the pure Java function, just as we were explaining here. This is supplier, producer, and this is the consumer, okay? So what we did, okay, we just create here a method, handle customer created, because we are consuming this event here, okay? This is the event. I just create here the sealed interface because I don't want, I want to group all the customer's event in a single interface, okay? So this is the event we can see here, okay? Using the records. So after creating here our method handle customer created, we just add here the Spring Cloud Stream function, okay? This line here telling, okay, Spring Cloud Stream, we have this function here. And for this function, as we can see, it's the same name. We are consuming in, right? In, okay, destination. We are telling, okay, the destination, the place that we are consuming is this topic here, customer topic. So if we go here in AKHQ, customer topic. So here also we have some typos because I was just, should be messaging, okay, like this, messaging, right? And yes, this is what we have here, right? We are consuming the events published by the customer microservice. So guys, for now, I think this is all that we can see in order to consume an event or a message produced by a Spring Boot application or other application, but this is the best way that we can consume the event, okay, using the Spring Cloud Stream functional style, okay, because here we are using the pure Java functional interface and Spring Cloud Stream. So guys, hope that you enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. So bye bye.